Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Before you get started, hit the like button and please subscribe if you like the content.
Welcome everybody to our YouTube channel, and in today's video we're going to change the belt on a 2014 Kia Soul. This video is part of another video, a previous video I had recorded on how to change the alternator on a 2014 Kia Soul. However, got a few requests on how to do the belt. So honestly, I'm not going to take a belt apart to do a video on it, but I'll try my best to just take parts of that previous video on how to do the alternator and just focus on the belt being replaced, because whenever I change an alternator, I got to change the belt. However, you can change the belt without changing the alternator. So that's the disclaimer I wanted to make in this video, because you may see me remove the alternator. You do not have to remove the alternator when you change your belt. I was changing the alternator, period, so I had to take it off completely. You can create some slack in the alternator to where it's movable, then you can slide your belt through, because most of the time, every other piece that the belt loops around is super hard to move. You got to probably take the whole car apart or something, the whole engine, to be able to move some of those pieces. But the alternator now is on the top. It's like accessible, so you can loosen up certain screws and get your alternator flexible enough to where your belt can fit. Then you tighten it back up. So just because you see me take off my entire alternator doesn't mean you have to. I was changing the alternator and replacing the belt, okay? So let's get into it. I need enough to where I can use my hand to turn that. I can feel it turn with my fingers now, but it's still not loose enough. So we're gonna keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. There we go. I just gotta go some more, y'all. So I had to keep going until the screw literally came off. And there was a lot in there to untangle, because that screw goes all the way. If you see that gap, it came all the way over there. This is the piece that tightens up the alternator. There's a screw right there. I don't know if you can see it. That really tightens up the belt, so the screw had to go through both of those. So there's one more bolt. It's pretty dark down here, but right down here there's one more bolt, and my finger is right there that I gotta take off, and it's a 14 millimeter. So now you gotta get the belt in. I want to get in the belt first and just let it hang on all the pieces it's supposed to hang around before I get the alternator in. So you can just see those lines and grooves down there. See if I can zoom in for y'all. The belt needs to go down and around that. And there's also another set right there in the bottom with grooves. That belt needs to go all the way around that. And that's all I gotta do. try to get that belt. If you look down there, take the belt off, getting the belt hooked up around that. Right here, going down, hooking the belt up as well. But we're not gonna get it nice and snug yet until we get the alternator back in place. I'm gonna turn this around, and you see that? You see that? That's what determines how tight your belt is. So that hole right there in this one needs to line up with the hole on the alternator. And then you just screw your bolt in. Alright? See that bolt? I'm just trying to get that bolt real close to where I can now lift up my alternator right there, align it, and screw it on. Which I'll need both hands for, so you guys won't be able to see them until it's in there. I'll show you when I'm tightening it back up. So now, see the alternator is mounted, but you can see the screw still has a lot of room, right? See that? I need to tighten that, and I also need to tighten that one. So let me take this out. That's one, and that's two that I need to tighten up. Not gonna tighten them up just yet because I need to be able to move the alternator up and down in order to get the belt nice and tight. So we're gonna run the belt around and then get the alternator tight. See that piece right there? That metal piece? I'm gonna try to touch it. That one right there. The belt needs to go underneath that. So I needed two hands to be able to get the belt underneath that. And if you see the belt over here, it's a little loose, but it goes underneath that piece, and then it wraps around the one down there. So all I'm gonna try to do is tug it, pull, 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 to get it nice and tight down on the bottom. I want you guys to see the belt. Got it around the alternator, but if you see, it's not all the way snug right there, because I'm working it in slowly. But on the back end, we're looking good. Down there on the bottom, try to zoom in. Not a good shot. Let's see. See right there, it's not all the way in. But on the bottom, a little dark, but I got the belt around. See that groove? The belt is right down there on the bottom. And once I tighten that up, I should be able to be back on the road. So keying the belt, once we got everything lined up, except for this, I want to be able to line this up as much as possible. You see down there? I want to put a screw right there. But if I get the alternator belts on, I'm not going to be able to. So I'm going to get the bolts in there first. Then we'll line the belt up. And ran into a major problem. So you can see what my problem is. My problem is this bolt right here needs to be loose enough to reattach my belt. Unfortunately, don't have like a flat wrench or something or socket that I could use, because when I attach the right socket to it, fits right on, but I don't have enough room due to this heating line right here, the hot and cold for the AC line. So I'm slowly turning that down. Well, I'd improvise and lock this screw in so when I turn, this doesn't turn. All I'm trying to do is push this piece down as far as possible to give me some wiggle room so I can attach the belt. And I don't have a socket on me, but being pretty handy. I'm improvising, as you see. I'm turning that around slowly. And if you take a look at that brown right there, that's how far back I got it during this process. So now I really think I got enough wiggle room now to be able to put the alternator there, where I can attach that piece back to the alternator. That will give the belt a little give, so I can be able to tighten it. You got a bottom wheel down there. Get some light down there for you all. See that bottom wheel? The belt needs to be snug around that. You got another one down there. The belt needs to be tight. Then the belt needs to run underneath, I believe that. But when it goes around both of those, and underneath that, right here where my finger is where the alternator should go. But I don't have enough slack. So I had to improvise because I didn't have just a flat wrench, as I was saying, to turn that. And that bolt, I don't have enough space to put my socket right there. So it makes it really tough for me to work. So you see the gloves came off, and I had to figure out a way to get it done. So I'm making it happen, and as you see, I've been turning that slowly and slowly, and it's been taking me a long time. It's getting dark out here even, to where you can see the rust. That's how far back I've pushed that piece. So I think I got enough wiggle room there now to be able to get everything nice and tight. And now, what I was talking about is that, you see that screw right here and this piece? They needed to align so this belt can hook up right there. But then it got so tight because I didn't have enough room on this bolt. See, the gloves are off now. So now I had to play around, as I mentioned earlier. Let's see if I can show you guys that rust again. I don't know I can zoom in on it anymore. See if I get the light. Now the alternator is blocking it. See that rust? I had to play around and turn that and push that black piece there all the way down where you see all that rust is. That's the amount of space I was able to give that. So with that, got my belt running everywhere it's supposed to run. I can easily attach my screw back there, and I can also align the other piece in my alternator. Let me see if I can show y'all that piece. See that hole? I can align that with that black, almost square. Let me see if I can point that out. Try to get the light as best as I can. That black square right underneath that rust. See that? There's a square piece right there. I'm pointing at it right now. Try to touch it. It's just the light's not too good. But right there, I'm touching it right now. That, let me zoom in. So you see the rust. And then my finger's actually touching it, and you see my finger roll pushed it all the way up. So there's a little piece. That's the hole that needs to align with the other side of the alternator. See the bolt right there? You pull it out a little bit so you can see it. That bolt now, I think I have enough give. where I'm going to use both hands, y'all. So I got to get off the camera, but I'm going to line that bolt with that circle. See the circle down on the alternator? So I got enough room to line that up easily now. But this is the challenge you're going to need. So what you're going to need is like a flat socket or something to be able to free up some space on this. Because you want to run everything around with the belt. You want to run everything around. And to me, alternator is last because that's the only thing that's movable. Everything else is stationary, so you cannot really attach your belt around the alternator and try to stretch it around something that's not movable. The alternator you can move up and down based on how much, you know, slack you got right here. So that's, you know, the last place I hook it up is the alternator. Now I'm just going to tighten it up. So everything is back on the way it's supposed to be, except for that. That's too much slack. That, we just got to make sure that's tight. And the only way that we're going to get that tight is, remember what got us in the trouble in the first place? This bolt right here, we had to make it slack enough so we have wiggle room to get the alternator back on. Well, that magical bolt, we got to struggle with that again to tighten it. Pretty much. Alright guys, so we stopped last night because of but it was already working. I just wanted to show y'all now with the lights off. See the belt all the way in. This piece right here, try to touch it. This piece right here, the belt loops down. It loops down that piece, you see that? And goes around it, and it comes over here. Try to zoom to the bottom. Zoom out. And that's the belt going around another wheel down there. So there's one wheel down there, the belt looped around. And right there, that shiny thing is the belt. Shiny black. Straight right there, straight down. That's the belt looping underneath. And it goes around. Then you can see that little angle right there with the belt. This is the belt, but the belt loops down one more circle right down there. So you gotta hook it up on 1, 2 all the way there. You loop it underneath this, underneath that one, and then the third wheel that the belt hooks up on is that one. And as I was saying, you want a little give. When it's too tight, that's when you're driving. I work his hands, so don't worry about it. When you get it too tight, that's when you're driving around the beltway or the highway or something, and it pops up. So you don't want the belt too tight. You want to be able to push it down a little bit. All right. So I've been working on this car, so my hands are the way they are, but it is what it is. I feel like you gotta have working hands out here in these. Anyway, that's it for changing the belt on the alternator. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks. Pretty much.
Hello again. Thank you for listening to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to drop the video a like and subscribe to us if you're new. Drop us a comment and let us know what you think.